Now it's time for This Week in the Suburbs, the new show that's on top of the events in your hometown, provided anything happens. Here's your anchormen, John DeDonna and Tim Mack.
Thank you, and welcome to our very first This Week in the Suburbs. We'll be bringing you stories of interest right here in your own hometown. We'll be covering events in Carpentersville, East and West Dundee, Crystal Lake, Cary, Sleepy Hollow, and Gilbert's.
I was in Gilbert's the other day, John.
What's happening over there?
Nothing.
Our top story tonight, officials in Carpentersville are outraged by the notion that their town may be the site of a nuclear reactor. Residents believe if a nuclear reactor is built in Carpentersville, property values will go down and their town will be turned into a ghost town. We went into the streets of Carpentersville to try to get some reaction, but we couldn't find anybody.
Thank you, John. Speaking of Carpentersville, there's a controversy of whether or not $1 million should be spent on a new sewer system. That's right, every year when the spring comes around, the snow melts and the flooding gets worse and worse due to the inadequate system. Carpentersville Village Board member George Hopkins says he has expressed concern over this matter, and he says we must stop procrastinating, and I can't hear a word I'm saying.
Sorry. There are complaints from Lake Marion residents that noxious fumes have been emanating from the Cargill industrial plant in Old Carpentersville. Here's Tim with that story. We'll have an update on that story later in our broadcast. And now it's time for that segment in our show we call Traveler of the Week. This week's traveler is Donald Kemke from East Dundee. Donald traveled to China over Christmas, and he brought back some wonderful stories, none of which we'll have time to listen to. But Donald did bring something very interesting, and welcome Donald Kemke. Hey, what's that object you're holding?
Yes, well, this is a drinking cup from the T.W.I.T.S dynasty, about 1500 B.C. It's very old and very valuable.
How valuable?
Well, it's priceless, John.
What are you doing with it?
Well, it's not mine. It doesn't belong to me. It's going to the Hysterical Society, and I've been commissioned to see that it gets there.
Wow, priceless, huh?
Yeah.
Do you mind?
Oh, no, go right ahead, John.
You did that.
You did it. You did it. You did it. You did it. I didn't do it. Nobody else did it. Bad man. You have to reach it before I want to do it. You always get that first. Why can't I get it? I don't understand. Why can't I get the mug first?
Get my agent out.
I've had it.
Yeah?
Agent.
Oh, come on.
You
said that last week at the barbecue.
Stepping on my line. You're stepping on mine.
Well, I'll step on you, buddy. Hi, I'm Tim Mack from This Week in the Suburbs. I'd like to present somebody very special in my life. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Billy Updike. Billy is born with a rare bone disease. It's called T.W.I.T.S, and it affects 1 out of every 86 million Americans. Billy was born with no bones. And of course, you can tell Billy isn't like normal people. Billy will never be able to windsurf, never be able to play racquetball. Quite frankly, Billy will never ever have sex. But we've been making great strides in the field of T.W.I.T, and I'd like to present Billy with the check for $32.58. There you go, Bill. And also I'd like to present Billy with an official NFL football signed by all the Chicago Bears. Here you go, Bill. Sure you'll have always fun with that. So folks, if you can send all your money, cash money orders to Shuckertown, USA, send it to Bones for Billy. And maybe, just maybe, we won't see people like Billy Updike. Right, Bill? Hurry. Time is running out.
And now the This Week in the Suburbs police report. A man in Barrington Hills was arrested Friday night for vagrancy. Barrington Hills police reported that Ronald Jacoby only had $500 on him at the time. Tim?
Thank you, John. For residents in Carpentersville, the 911 emergency number is now directly connected to the Mr. Donut on Route 25. They say you'll have a better chance of reaching someone there. Yeah?
Officials in Gilbert are offering $1,000 for the return of their squad car. Not only is it the only one they have, but the officers inside were the only ones they had also.
This just handed to me. Crystal Lake Police found a squad car out on Route 14 near Woodstock. The two stranded officers inside said they were patrolling on Randall Road and just kept taking wrong turns until they were hopelessly lost. After the laughter died down, the police were given some food provisions and some directions home. They should be back in Gilbert's within the month. John?
Now for the weather, here's your blind meteorologist, Vern Scott.
Thanks, John. Tonight in the southern regions, it will be dark, as it will be throughout the rest of the United States. Tomorrow will start dark with scattered patches of light filtering in, especially as the morning wears on. That's the way I see it. Back to you, John.
Rory, tell me, how's the weekend shaping up?
Who said that?
Whoa, hey, slow down.
Anybody know where my car keys are?
Loaded?
Every time this happens. Hey, what's the matter with you?
Burn, let's go.
That way.
Out of here.
Don't forget, This Week in the Suburbs brought to you by Pep Boys, Manny, Mo, and Jack.
Killer bees may be heading our way. As you recall, the over-aggressive honeybees were an experiment in South America about 6 years ago. Scientists were trying to breed a superior bee, which could produce twice the honey of a normal bee. What they came up with was a mutation which found its way in the produce crates and accidentally shipped to America, where it was found to have slaughtered cattle in New Mexico and Colorado. As the bees moved northward and kept interbreeding with normal honeybees, they eventually became less aggressive. Now let's end with this week's movie review.
Well, looks like Neil Simon isn't giving up just yet. Audience today seem to prefer violence and tough guys in the movies. So Simon has found a way to cash in by casting Clint Eastwood and Charles Bronson as roommates in this newly released film called The Mean Couple. Here's a scene from that film now.
Hey, you sweet face.
What's up, Chuck?
I want a few words with you. Look at this place, it's all over the place. I'm getting tired of this mess. You got a horse in the bathroom. That son of a rock comes over at 4 o'clock in the morning. What do you call this? I used to have 6 pair of Argyle socks and now I've only got 5. How do you explain that?
Well, I may have watched 5, I may have watched 6. All this confusion, I kind of lost count.
Well, this apartment is a mess and it's your turn to clean it up. I'm tired of it and I want to clean by time I get back.
Just a second. I think it's your turn. Go ahead, make my bed.
Looks like a winner to me, John.
Can't go wrong with those guys. Yeah. What are you doing?
How's my hair look?
Looks fine.
You sure?
Positive.
Sure it's okay?
Positive. There's no time for this. Jeez.
Wait, you sure? I mean, why don't we get Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah, how does my hair look?
Looks okay. Looks okay from here.
Do you want a public opinion poll on this?
You could have told him to say that.
I didn't tell him to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, you could have told him to say that my hair looked okay. You know what? I want a public opinion poll. I want a public opinion poll about my hair.
Okay,
You asked-
you asked for it. We went into the streets to find out what people think about Tim's hair.
And the question of the day, excuse me, ma'am, may I ask you an important question? I'm John T.W.I.T.S from This Week in the Suburbs. What do you think of this man's hair?
Oh, I think it looks neat.
It looks good to you? Okay.
You told her to say that.
No, I didn't tell her to say
I
that.
never heard me before.
Thank Thank you very much, ma'am.
You're welcome.
This week in suburbs, watch for it. Excuse me, sir. Can I ask you a very important question? It'll take 1 second of your time. I'm John T.W.I.T.S from This Week in the Suburbs. What do you think of this man's hair?
I think it's black.
You think it's black? Very good observation, sir. Thank you very much. Ah, another gentleman. Excuse me, sir. May I ask you a short question? You don't like my hair? Hair. We see it every day. We see it on the streets. We comb it every morning. We wash it. We brush it. We put it in our soup. Excuse me. I'm John T.W.I.T.S from This Week in the Suburbs. I'd like to ask you a very important question, if I may. What do you think of this man's hair? His hair. What do you think of his hair?
It looks like a gentleman.
He looks like a gentleman. That says nothing about his hair. Thank you very much. Yeah, he's from out of town. I'm John T.W.I.T.S from This Week in the Suburbs. Can I ask you a very short, important question? What do you think of Tim's hair?
Oh, God.
I think it looks better than the long hair.
She thinks it looks better from the long hair. He said, oh, God. And I go, excuse me, young man. What do you think of his hair? What do you think of his dancing?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Thank you very much.
Of the people surveyed, 4% said they liked Tim's hair, 33% said they disliked it, 12% said they liked his hair but disliked his clothes, and 20% had no opinion. This week's commentary, drunk driving. Safety Council studies indicate nearly 50% of all motor vehicle accidents have alcohol as a contributing factor. The Council suggests the following advice for motorists who will be attending parties where alcohol will be served. If you're going out with a group of friends, select one person to serve as the designated driver. This individual's responsibility is to abstain from drinking and drive the other members home safely. If you plan on driving, pace your drinking while at the party. Although alcohol affects each person differently, your body needs approximately 1 hour to overcome the effects of every beer, glass of wine, or mixed drink consumed. If any guests have had too much to drink, help them find another ride home. Encourage them to stay overnight or call a taxi cab for you. If you know beforehand you are liable to drink excessively, plan an alternative way home. Ask a non-drinking guest to take you home, call for a taxi cab, or stay overnight. Remember the obvious. No one can drive as well drunk as when sober. Are you with me on this, Tim?
I'm with you, Borger. Boxing. There's a great controversy raging right now in the sport of boxing on how many men get into that ring, get permanently damaged, or even killed. But right now we have a live hookup with the boxing great, Rocky Canvasback Graciano. Good evening, Rock.
Good evening, Rock.
Tell me, how many fights have you had?
102.
Well, how many fights have you lost?
102.
How do you explain that?
I can't win them all.
What's the first thing you think of when you enter the ring, Rock?
How to get out?
Well, what would you say your trickiest punch would be?
My left hook.
What's so tricky about that?
I use my right hand.
Well, Rock, I noticed there isn't any marks on your face. Why is that?
I had my nose fixed.
Oh, did it straighten it out?
No, they put it between my eyes.
Well, I noticed you don't wear a mouthpiece.
No,
No, not anymore, no.
Well, why is that?
I swallowed it.
Well, don't you think fighters should have mouthpieces?
It hasn't come out yet.
Well, would you ever wear a mouthpiece
Not
again?
that mouthpiece. I think I'll wear that. Get off the line.
Well, you've been fighting in this country for some time now, Rock. Do you ever think you'd fight abroad? Let me give you another question. Who taught you how to fight, Rock?
Well, there was George Foreman, Joe Frazier, Joan Collins.
Oh, whoa. Joan Collins? What did you ever learn from her?
A lot more than I learned from Joe Frazier and George Foreman. And,
Is Rocky your nickname?
Rocky is my nickname, yes. Yes. Yes.
Do you have a real name?
Yeah.
Do you know your own name?
Oh, wait a minute. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Johnny. Johnny is my real name.
About time. Hey, champ, one time you fought Muhammad Ali. Did he hurt you at all during the fight?
Only when he hit me.
Well, did anything unusual happen during the fight?
Well, I saw an unusual face in the third row.
Well, who was that?
It was me.
What fight sticks out in your memory, right?
World War II. You know, I never fought abroad.
I didn't mean that. I meant, well, if they tell me you're going to fight Leon Spinks. Now,
only if I don't have to look at him.
well, what would your prediction be of the night of the fight?
I would predict rain, snow flurries, all kinds of things like that.
Well, no, Rock. I meant, what would be the outcome of the fight?
Early knockout.
How early?
I'm going to hit him in the dressing room with a pipe.
Well, they told me you're pretty tough. You know?
I am tough.
Oh, yeah.
Tough, I am. I've got a list of all the people that I can beat.
Am I on your list?
You're on the list.
Can't be me.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
I'll take your name off the list.
Well, in your honest opinion, Rock, do you think fighting causes brain damage in any way?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Well, do you think getting too many blows to the head affects you in any other way, physically?
Well, my hat doesn't fit.
Well, I'll tell you what. Would you like to take a few reactionary tests laid down by the Boxing Association?
I am willing, able, and things to take reactionary tests right now.
I'll tell you what, champ. Give me two pronouns.
Who, me?
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll tell you what. How many fingers am I holding up?
Thursday.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. How about a tongue twister, champ?
A what?
Tongue twister.
Tongue twist?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Ready?
Ready.
I am not a fig plucker. Fig plucker not I, but I will pluck the figs till the fig plucker comes by.
I don't want to play this game anymore.
Thanks, Rock. And that's all there is in the world of boxing.
This just handed to me, Lauren Green. Consumers in the Fox Valley area are warned to be on the lookout for unplucked chickens. Some local meat markets have been reported to selling the chickens that were not properly prepared. It's hard to believe people would actually cook and eat a bird that wasn't properly plucked, but you're warned. Watch out for these. Again. Well, that about wraps it up for our first This Week in the Suburbs. What did you think of it, Tim?
The lighting, okay. The lighting was bad, pretty bad. Okay. The sound, it stunk. I mean, you know, we got a blind weather guy. A blind weather guy, man. I mean, this stinks. Okay. The camera isn't even on me. Most of the time, look, I'm sorry, okay? I've had
Yeah, I don't care. When I ask you, what did you think of it, Tim, you're supposed to say it was good or something. You're not supposed to actually tell me what you actually think of it. I can't.
On the whole, it wasn't that bad.
Thank you. Where'd he go? Get out of here.
Now we got a post.
The guy's still in the...
This is where the music comes in.
Dad, how did it look up there?
Don't forget to stay tuned for the Crazy Kenny Westfall Show.